Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're gonna do just a basic kind of rundown of Egyptian hieroglyphs, the formal writing system of the ancient Egyptians. And in this video, we're gonna just a basic understanding of how crazy the writing system is. If you ever wanted to learn it, it is possible to learn the system. It's not really that bad. Um, Very few people actually want to do this. But if you do want to learn, I'll let you know what craziness you're in for. So the first thing about Egyptian hieroglyphs is you look at a temple wall or something and you're going to go, well, which way do you read them? You know, is it right to left, left to right, up to down, down to up? Well, as it turns out, they're written all ways. And you have to figure out which way to read them before you can read the text and get the proper translation. Well, a rule of thumb with that is look for birds. So whichever way the bird is facing, the text reads into its mouth. So if the bird is facing left, then you would read it left to right. If the bird's facing right, right to left. Now, if it's in columns, it usually starts at the top and goes down, but you have to see which place to start by which way the bird's facing. And sometimes it goes up to down, up to down, up to down, and sometimes it goes up to down, then down to up. Okay. Now, interestingly, they have this kind of no rules version of writing in different directions because I guess it's for aesthetics and architecture, because you can actually go to places where there's a door and going down one, starting in the middle of the top, go across and down one side will be a complete text. And then in the opposite side, starting at the top and going down the other side, will be the exact same text, kind of like a mirror image for aesthetics. So this is just the first crazy part, okay, is figuring out which way do they read. Then there's the glyphs themselves. Now, this is where a lot of the insanity really starts. So there is a alphabet of phonetic symbols, and a lot of people see these, online, and it's true. So you have phonetic letters, just like modern alphabets, just like the Greek alphabet. Each symbol represents a sound, and you can combine them together to make whatever words. And when we're reading hieroglyphs, there usually aren't any vowels, and there's no punctuation. Okay? This right there makes it really hard. Now, the phonetic glyphs are how Champollion was able to decode the Rosetta Stone. And the reason that is because the writing system was completely dead for 2,000 years. And that is because when Egypt converted to Christianity, they dropped the hieroglyphic writing system in favor of Greek, and then later Arabic. Well, the thing is the language itself actually didn't completely die. As it turns out that Coptic Christian churches still used the ancient language, they just wrote it in Greek or Arabic, okay? And by a twist of fate, Champollion knew Coptic. So when he started going through the phonetic sounds on the Rosetta Stone, he went, oh my God, this is Coptic. And then he was able to decode the rest. Not all of them real quick. It's taken like 200 years to get a lot of this sorted out, because if it was just a phonetic alphabet, this would be easy. But it isn't just a phonetic alphabet, okay? Now, there's also a whole other set of glyphs that represent different sounds, combinations, multi-syllable things, they're actually mostly actual words. So instead of just phonetic sounds, now you have actual words. You take the hieroglyph nefer, and it means beauty, beautiful, etc. So you can put that by itself in a name. Nefer means beauty. So you don't have to write out nefer, but here's the crazy part. Sometimes they did. So you can see where they wrote nefer, the phonetic sounds after the symbol nefer. So it says nefer, nefer. But I guess you only say it once. So you end up having phonetically spelled words in sentences in text with actual entire words that go together. Okay, now it might be pretty easy still there, but it's not so simple because there's a bunch of other hieroglyphs that were used as determinatives. Okay, so for example, you write the word boat, and then immediately after it is a picture of a boat. So it says boat, boat. So you mean boat. Okay. So you have determinative symbols like, country, city, man, woman, eating, drinking. It's just so you get the gist of it. Now, this is like the way modern emojis are used. So to tell the reader what you want to know. So you send your buddy a snide comment, and at the end you use laughing face emoji, so when the person reads it, it's meant to be a joke. So the determinative is, it's how the reader is supposed to read the sentence. Okay? Now, determinatives are one thing, but let's add another level of insanity, is all of these glyphs that are pictures of something can be used as ideograms. An ideogram is literal picture writing, meaning literally the picture is what it's supposed to be. And just like emojis, so your friend sends you this comment with the laughing face emoji, and then instead of typing back, hey, this was so funny, I was laughing my butt off, you send back the laughing face emoji. It expresses the entire sentence. That's an ideogram if you send it by itself. Now, how do you know if something is an ideogram? Well, it'll have a line under it, and that means take it literally. So you have the word boat with a line under it means boat. They don't have to write boat. They can just save space on a temple wall if, for aesthetics and symmetry to fit everything in a space. They could either write the word boat, add the determinative boat, or if they don't have enough room, they could just put boat with a line under it, which means boat. That's one reason. The other reason is a lot of people couldn't read in ancient Egypt, but if they knew that basic rule, they could pick out important things out of a text. Okay? So now, look at all the layers you have. You have a phonetic alphabet, you have a word alphabet, you have the determinatives to tell you how to read the text you're reading, and then you have ideograms, which means take this literally. Okay, so now you have this. Well, much like every other language, how do you determine the gender of what you're reading? So generally, female names and words have a T added to the end. So if you describe a woman as beautiful, it would be nefret. Okay, so nefer with a T. How about plural? Here's where it gets crazy. A lot of this isn't standardized, so they had different ways of doing it. The first way is to take the word and put 3 lines under it. And this adds a U sound, like in English you would add an S. So to say gods, you would put 3 lines under the netterglyph, and it becomes neteru. And to be a female god or a goddess, it would be netret. See where I'm going? Now, sometimes they didn't just write the 3 lines. I guess if they needed to fill in space, they would just write the glyph 3 or more times. and it means the same thing. So you have 3 netterglyphs means Neteru, plural of gods. Okay? I know everybody following along? How many of you want to run out and sign up to read hieroglyphs? Now, I'll tell you, I took the course about 20 years ago. I actually paid to take a course, and I did get really good at it, and it takes years to get super fluent. But, concentrating on my career and everything, I'm really rusty right now. If you don't use it, you lose it. Now, if you really want to learn it, you don't really have to take a professional course. There are YouTube channels where they teach you how to read hieroglyphs. It takes a while. You can also do online courses. It takes a while. There's books that you can get. It's better if you have somebody really teaching it to you, because it does get super frustrating. Even when you start to get the hang of it. I'll tell you what, I was taking Kemet magazines and looking at inscriptions and translating them in a notebook, and you still run across symbols that you have no clue what they mean. And I've got dictionaries, everything, including there's an app for that's constantly updated, and I've run across a couple I have no clue what they mean. I have no clue, and I've read the translation eventually. I don't know where they got that from, because apparently, I guess somebody guessed, but it's not written down anyway. So, and if there's some of you out there that are just super smart and want a really big challenge, learn hieroglyphs, and then go learn hieratic. Look, hieroglyphs suck, but hieratic blows. Okay. I dare you. It's the cursive, everyday version of ancient Egyptian writing that they would use on documents and whatnot. And they're really only a handful of people on the planet that can read it fluently. It's insane. So, just a basic rundown of how reading hieroglyph works and how super bizarre it is, and there's a lot you need to understand. Please give me a like and a subscribe. Drop any comments and opinions in the comments down below. And hey, if there's ever anything you want me to cover or ask me a question, don't be afraid to ask in the comments. I'm always looking for ideas, especially since I might start branching out into paranormal TV shows. And we can have some fun with that. Other than that, thanks for stopping by. I'm glad to see everybody. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.